You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalogue. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 5th of July 2025.
Welcome to Celtic Ligers, the show about
politics, culture, gives a sideways glance to the news and current affairs.
Yeah.
Do you remember that show, The Panel? It's a lot like that, except this ain't your granddaddy's panel.
Yeah, it's your granny's.
Yeah. Isn't she lovely? And didn't she have the USA biscuit tin? And I don't be opening that thinking there are going to be fucking biscuits in it, though.
Yeah, I'd be halfway through the needles before she tell me that. You know what I mean? Halfway through the bloody tin.
Yeah, I'll be eating biscuits. The tin as well.
Yeah, those aren't biscuits.
I'm eating
those
the lid
needles.
of the tin. And then she starts like reaching for it and I'm snapping at her fingers.
Yeah. 27 years old. I was 20,
27 years old.
And now my mum is one of those. She's granny age. She has 2 grandchildren, 3 grandchildren.
3. I love that I remembered how many grandchildren she has.
2 normal children and 3 grandchildren.
Yeah, yeah.
And now she's a tin full of sewing needles and ribbon. And
that's mammy's for you.
The kids are making the same mistake as I did.
Just keep going, this crazy world we live in, huh?
I'm like, you idiot.
Yeah. And now we're getting more conservative as well. And we're looking at the wokesters and their blue hair. James's nephews and nieces with their blue hair. And always trying to tell you to say, oh, you can't say that anymore, Uncle. Can't say the F slur anymore. This is crazy.
Yeah. You can't say
obviously
the
James
N-word
didn't
anymore.
say F slur. I cleaned it up. But so 2 years old they are, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years old. No, I think it's 3. Well, one of them is 2. One of them is 2?
Well, they're not all the same age. They're not triplets.
I know. Yeah. By the way, congratulations to Shane Clifford on his what I thought were triplets and are now actually twins.
Did he post about it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, right, okay.
He's posted about it multiple times.
Well, I got rid of Instagram for a while.
Yeah. You're better off. What else is new? The reason this episode is late is because I can finally announce I was on the BBC Voices scheme.
Yes.
So I'm part of, they read a script that I did and they were like, do you want to be part of our Voices scheme? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then they were like, well, it's got BBC at the start of it. And I was like, sounds good. Sign me up. And it was 3 in-person meetings with a bunch of writers from around the country. It was in Belfast, so it's BBC Voices Belfast, I believe. And every time I go, I'm in the BBC Northern Ireland Voices scheme. Everyone just like makes a face, and I go, yeah, but I wasn't going to say no. So
yeah,
kind of like, well, you're not from. Yeah, I know, but you're going to say no to the BBC, you know?
Yeah, that's just haters, you know.
Yeah. And finally someone in this fucking island appreciates me. Appreciates my genius, my efforts, my craft.
Yeah.
You're trying down here and then they're like, genuine note that I got given, this script isn't funny enough. Maybe we need to get somebody like Tommy Tiernan in who comes up with crazy ideas.
Yeah. Here's the note they should have given you. Control F4 backspace delete. Is that what's that one?
You control A to control F would be find something in the document.
I'm like close the fucking program, you know?
Yeah. So if you said Control A, then it would have highlighted all of the text and then backspace delete would have deleted all of the text.
What's the one that's exit window?
I don't know. I just use my fucking. I just use the arrow. I don't need a shortcut. I can do it. I can just drag the cursor up there and X the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just do it, man.
So there you go. And what happens now? Well, nothing. I mean, not that I'm grateful to be part of the scheme, but I'm like, get an agent. Go. So if there's any agents out there, please, God, get me. Can I get some money? Can I get fucking anything, please?
Well,
that's all I want.
You were schmoozing with some interesting people.
Big dogs. I was actually. I'll say this. I was schmoozing with the head of drama commissioning for BBC Northern Ireland, who was actually the script editor for series 9 and 10 of Doctor Who. And I got to talk to him about Heaven Sent, and it was a real delight.
You should pitch a show, Doctor Who, in Northern Ireland.
Oh my God. Oh, somebody, sorry, we have to get back to that, but like in our previous episode, we reviewed 28 Years Later. Yeah. And then Mark Maloney like put down in the comment, he said some comment, but anyway, he's like, he said like the Irish version of 28 Days Later. I was like, how the fuck did that not come up? How did we not think of the Irish version of 28 Days Later?
Yeah. But this is the Northern Irish version of Doctor Who.
It's the Northern Irish version of Doctor Who, which has more meat on the bone there,
They're both such meaty bones.
Meaty bones. And very appropriate for 28 Years Later to be talking about meaty bones, am I right?
Yeah.
Because the hogs on those guys.
Oh, yeah.
The langers flapping around on them.
Ronan was asking me a question.
Yeah.
About that. And it's an interesting one.
Okay.
First of all, how old do you think that guy was?
Which guy?
The Alpha.
30, 35, 36.
So he was alive before the whole thing set off.
Yeah.
So I guess his dick that big normally.
I took it to be like, again, it's my problem with the movie, the video gamification of it, where it's like these the alphas all look identical, and but I figured
in the world.
No, well, I figured that the lore explanation was that whatever chemicals are coursing through him is making him proportionally that way. Do you know?
Okay. Because I don't think it works that way in any other. I know it's filmed. But...
Yeah.
So you think it grew?
I don't know whether the virus selects for those people or whether it just enhances what's already there, because it's like, some sort of, it's basically magic. It's basically a magic.
Yeah, but which do you think
potion.
It is?
Which do I think it is? I'm trying to figure out what my honest answer is,
Yeah.
Could it be a combo of both of them? That it selects for certain things, but then, like, it is enhanced by the rage virus?
Because you have to bear in mind that this took place in, like, Northumbria.
Yeah.
So is there a guy going around there who's 7 feet tall?
Okay, I'm going to say that the virus gave him the big prick then.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking about, the beta zombies that are crawling on the ground and they're all bald?
Yeah.
And they don't have any beards.
Yeah, they look English.
For the podcast as well, I went back and I listened to his interview with the Pod Save America guys. Yeah. And I was like trying to pull out clips to like put in just to be like a red letter media type of making somebody look foolish. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
You get that.
Lucas.
Other people get that. James doesn't get that. That's what I mean.
George Lucas.
That took me by surprise. I didn't expect for you to know that one. But anyway, I listened to this episode.
Have you seen his car?
George Lucas's car?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
He drives like a massive Cadillac, like a white Cadillac.
That's funny.
So ugly.
I thought he'd drive like the Homer car, you know.
Me too, yeah. The one that Homer designs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was such a sick car when I was young.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah. But I found like 12 minutes worth of clips of like Alex Garland just sounding like the dumbest man in the world, and I went onto the subreddit for the Pod Save America people, and even they hated it. They were like, this guy doesn't know fucking shit about American politics. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And then it's clear that he doesn't know anything about British politics either, because so 2024, when Civil War was released, do you remember it was just about when a general election was going to happen in the UK?
Yeah.
And he said that that the left were about to win a big victory because they became less militant and they were being quiet. Okay. He's talking about Keir Starmer, and he's like, and the left is being led by a guy who, you know, is a bit boring, and he says some things that are basically reasonable and kind of harmless. And so, like, he just was saying that the importance of civil war was to not get caught in this polarization, you know, and then to be listening to that podcast in the same week where it's like, we are going to enact austerity on the most vulnerable people in British society. We are going to prescribe Palestine Action as an organization. You'll be arrested for showing support for Palestine while we fund Israel, okay? To bomb people. And it's like, you know, so like, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, I was thinking about it with maybe this is a good point to talk about the new party that's been started in the Brits for over there, or is going to be started.
Corbyn. Big man.
Corbyn. I like Corbyn enough, but I'm just like, I'm done with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, retire, bitch. We're done. You've outserved your usefulness. Bitch. Okay?
No. Don't call him a bitch. I like him. I'm
just quite mad at him because it's like, so we're 1 year on from Labour getting into government, okay?
Yeah.
And like one of the worst weeks that they've had politically, and Zarah Sultana is like, was suspended from the party, had the whip removed, to saying, you know what, I resign from Labour and I'm going to be starting founding a new left-wing alternative with Corbyn. And you're like, great, let's do this. And then he's just quiet for like hours and hours and hours. And then the papers then start to say, actually, it turns out Corbyn thinks that she jumped the gun, and he's bewildered and furious. And then people are like, that doesn't sound like Corbyn to be like bewildered and furious. And what you're saying sounds a little... And then eventually he's like, in typical Corbyn fashion, he's like, don't worry, I'll clear it up by putting out like the most vague message possible that could either confirm or deny whatever narrative people want to impose on it, okay?
Yeah.
And what it ends up doing is it looks like, oh, geez, are they doing that again? They're splitting off, the left eating itself, they're inept, they can't pull it together, and it's just like... And then the fact that he stayed in the Labour Party for as long as he fucking did with the stuff that they were doing, do you know what I mean? You're kind of like, you know, like basically it was the most compelling evidence I've seen that he is like a state asset.
No.
Where I know he's not. That was a joke. The joke is like at a certain point you're being so inept that it has to be intentional. Do you know what I mean?
like he's... Like, at the end of the day, he's the guy who came closest to having a socialist prime minister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, it's because they fell asleep at the wheel rather than... Because clearly, like, it just... Yeah, but he just wasn't fucking tough enough, okay?
Yeah, but no one else... Everyone else was even less tough. Like, I'm saying he's the best.
Yeah, but it just means like once that's done, it's like once you fired your shot, you missed. Now either get behind what's coming or step out of the fucking way. And the idea that he can't just go, Zarah Sultana resigns, and then within an hour he's like, yeah, let's fucking go. Do you know?
Maybe
Instead
they
he's
were
going like, well, we have to.
Maybe it's. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, but maybe they were like, if he's poaching other people.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's
Like if she did
only so much
something-
pussyfooting around I can tolerate, you know?
But like if she jumped the gun, like that could fuck up plan. You know what I mean?
I just don't know what's jumping the gun about saying I'm leaving the party and we're going to be working on founding a new left-wing party.
Yeah.
Like that's the most kind of like it's just nothing, isn't it? Do you know?
Well, like say you had other people lined up.
Yeah.
Like say you were going to announce, I don't know. Like I have no idea, but
Yeah.
say like you like 2 people in England. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Not a sizable party at all. So maybe
Well, it's
like
because she's joining the Independent Alliance, which is a load of politicians that were voted in because of Gaza.
yeah, but now they're going to start a new party.
Yeah, or like try to found a party using those raw materials.
Yeah. It's not a very solid thing to announce.
I think given the timing of it, like in the week that was, it's like very like I can understand I one other problem I had with it. I don't have any real love for the Greens, and I especially don't really have much love for Zach Polanski, who was a guy who was critical of Corbyn's anti-Semitism and always dragging him for it until recently, where he's like, actually, I did get kind of swayed by these nefarious lobbies, and now that I see what's happening in Gaza, I'm like I'm more sympathetic to what Corbyn did. But I think Corbyn would admit it himself. There was problems with his leadership, and there was a rise in anti-Semitism that he failed to address. I was like, okay, so you're not sorry,
yeah.
like fuck you. But either way, the point is like the Greens were like seeing what's happening, and they're out there in like he basically mounted a leadership challenge to Carla Denye. Because if they have like a co-leadership thing in the Greens, and he was like, no, what we need to have is like one person, and we need to come out swinging, and like people are angry, and we need to take advantage of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he's managed to rally a lot of support, and membership for the Greens has increased in a big way since he started mounting this campaign. And
Yeah.
before the leadership contest is even over, they announced this party. So I'm kind of like, that's a bad call. You shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Zarah Sultana comes out and she's like, I'm fucking angry, let's do something. And then Corbyn goes, yeah, I'm pretty cross as well, you know?
Yeah. One of Corbyn's weirdest personality traits is his inability to answer a question. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's just not able for it. But I just gosh darn love him, you know?
I do love him, yeah. I do love him. Yeah, it's just it's just the mess of the British left, where it's like,
I don't think the mess is all his. I don't think in this instance the mess is all his fault.
but he does like feel like we need better people. We need more people. It can't just be this one guy. I can't litigate Corbynism again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why. Like, it really feels like there was this moment, and then there's just been no one. Like Bernie Sanders is 80.
Yeah.
How old is Jeremy Corbyn? How old is he? 70?
I think he's 73.
Yeah, like
Let me see if I'm right about that. He is 76. Fuck it. Well, whatever.
that's really old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, like, it's just no one. There's no new name. You know? Like, it felt like Corbyn's thing was like his last go. How old was he? When was that? Jesus, was that 10 years ago?
But no, like it was about 6 years ago, the
Was
last
it?
election.
Like that was the last bash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's what, 67? Still old, but like
Mm.
some vigor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're 76, like no vigor left.
Yeah.
So I really, it's just like people talk about like, will Bernie run again? It's like, obviously not. He's half dead.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, he's not even like the stuff he's saying about Israel is abhorrent, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like these old guys giving it one last push, and then it didn't work. And yeah, they're sticking around, but like I don't know. It's just depressing to me, you know.
I think it's like, obviously, like, what's the alternative for them to do? Like, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. What I'm just saying is, like, these figures are imbued with a lot of importance, despite the fact, like, there are people like Zarah Sultana who are, like, you know, it's the fucking Gramsci quote, which I'm trying to avoid saying, but, like, you know, the old refusing to die, the new struggling to be born, you know? Like,
Yeah, but he's, you know,
yeah.
he's not. Maybe you're not saying this, but like, I don't think Corbyn's getting in anyone's way.
I think, like, to not come out and back Sultana to the hilt is getting in the way.
But maybe they had a
To
plan.
muddy the waters.
Like, she muddied the waters. It sounds like she announced it to
Well,
her.
no, we don't know that. Like, I don't know what happens. Like, but these sort of things, that the progress is so fucking slow, where it's like, oh, she pulled the trigger too soon. It was like, what do you mean too soon? When's the right time going to be now? Like, are things not bad enough? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I was approaching all of these people, and I was like, who are you approaching? Fucking Diane Abbott. She's not leaving Labour. Like, who are you approaching? Who's on the fence at this moment in time that you need to, like, win over? Do you know?
Yeah.
I don't see what, like, the only thing I could see that would be bad is doing it before the Green leadership contest. But then if you're forming a new left-wing party, then, like, well, fuck them, because I'm starting something else. But if you're going to start something else, don't half-ass it. Go all in. This whole thing of just being like, oh, well, you know, we'll think about it. It'd be nice, you know, when maybe it's done, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. A fucking project. I mean, that's the other thing about Sultana suggesting it, is this thing where it's like, we are going to be founding a new party. Then it's like, everybody's in on this. Get involved with this project, do you know?
Yeah. It's just in
You've been
England.
licking your
Like,
wounds long enough.
like
Yeah.
I say, two people. I haven't seen her announced, but was she like me and Corbyn are doing this?
Yeah.
Just like in England, that's nothing. Like, I know you mentioned the independent group, but like, you know, in Ireland you can get a 2-person party and it's something, even if it's
Yeah.
not much. But in England, 2 is like nothing. Like, their parliament is what? Nearly 3 times
Yeah.
the size of ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to read her statement.
Do.
Will I read her statement, or?
Why not? How long is it?
Not that long. It's like a paragraph or something.
Yeah.
Few hundred words. Today, after 14 years, I'm resigning from the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn and I will co-lead the founding of a new party with other independent MPs, campaigners and activists across the country. Westminster is broken, but the real crisis is deeper. Just 50 families now own more wealth than half the UK population. Poverty is growing, inequality is obscene, and the two-party system offers nothing but managed decline and broken promises. A year ago, I was suspended by the Labour Party for voting to abolish the 2-child benefit cap and lift 400,000 children out of poverty. I'd do it again. I voted against scrapping winter fuel payments for pensioners. I'd do it again. Now the government wants to make disabled people suffer. They just can't decide how much. That one, by the way, I don't know if you've been following that thing during the week. They have this bill where it's like, we're going to remove, is it PIP, is it? Where it's like disability payments. And like, they were literally like, we're going to remove it for people who can't wash the lower half of their bodies, you know?
Right.
There's crazy shit where it's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, like last time in England when they, under the Tory austerity, they forced people back to work, the disabled people. Like a lot of them died.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them.
It's
So,
just
this
like,
sort of thing is just gonna kill.
it's just mad to me that it's like, this is like, we're already talking about it, but like, you know, you prescribe Palestine Action, you know,
Yeah.
you get tough on migrants, okay? Like there were, yeah, and then you have like going after the disabled, going after the elderly, and it's like, oh, but we had to vote Labour because otherwise we'd have a fascist government. It was like, this is fascism, isn't it? Like at this stage, like, anyway, what was the point? The point is, this week with the disability benefits, I think also like, I've seen like Labour people go on the telly and be like, oh no, I hate that this, I don't, I think that disabled people should get, you know, paid benefits, whatever. And then in the next breath, they'll go, but if they can work, then they should work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck you. This is such an ugly, disgusting party to be a part of. And in this week where like everybody is in agreement, everybody hates it. Every reform voter hates what they're proposing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, to say then like, and if 1 year on from them being elected, it's like, okay, I quit. We're starting something new. Get involved, you know? Like,
yeah.
I think that's an entirely appropriate thing to do. I don't know. Maybe there's some internal thing, but then once that decision is made, then you are responsible to back it, you know?
Yeah, you do.
But good news, Spitting Image is back. And don't worry, it's written by the same terrible people who ruined it the second time.
Oh yes, Spitting Image. That's a really racist one.
Yeah, with the Pretty Patel that looked really racist.
Yeah, that was great. That was like the most racist thing I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen 28 years later.
Yeah. Racist thing a British person has ever done after 28 years later. Do you want to watch any of this?
Okay, Spitting Image.
It's also written by Al Murray, the pub landlord.
He's good.
He's just a bloke and he's very funny. Can you hear this?
I like it here. The rest is...
Hello, and
Who's
welcome
that?
to the rest
Paddington
is
Bear.
Bullshit.
Paddington Bear.
The show where you get to know
Who's
us for
that?
who we truly
Prince
are.
Harry.
That's right. And I don't really talk like Ben Whishaw. No,
I am from Peru, motherfuckers. I am Paddington Bear from Peru.
And I'm Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Just a regular guy with a title like anyone else who's fifth in line to the throne.
You most likely remember me from the films Paddington, Paddington 2, and Paddington in Peru. I also had a starring role in the Netflix series Narcos as Pablo Escobar.
Oh, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that.
Nah, keep going, man. How long's the clip?
11 minutes.
Skip into the middle of it. Or is it all the same sketch?
Skitch. No, it's not. Oh, they got Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm going to skip ahead. So just for me editing later on, this is 1 minute, 11 seconds. I don't think that'll help at all. But anyway, here it is, playing now.
The White House.
I'm so horny for you, you're making me so hard. I'm getting a huge boner right now. It's probably the biggest, beautifulest boner there's ever been. Everybody says it's a great boner. I could have been a boner, maybe I still will be. And I will be the biggest, hardest boner there is. Everybody will say it. Wow, what a big boner.
I'm so close. Say it. Say it.
The thing that makes me really hard is
Yeah,
Russia.
Putin and
Such a
Trump
great
are gay
place.
for each
A lot
other.
of good people. They do great things.
Nearly there.
Go on. Tell me to leave NATO again. Putin? Putin, was that good for you? Are you still there? Putin, what's that noise? You better not be recording me again. Damn it!
Same time tomorrow. And that's why I said no to Harry Potter. Paddington Bear.
The stony face.
Yeah.
Also, Trump doesn't eat the buns on the burger.
Yeah.
I thought everyone knew that.
Oh, here we go. This will be a good one because it'll be about how Angela Rayner is better than Keir Starmer. They're always saying, I'm a northern lass and I'm better than Keir Starmer and I deserve the top job and everybody loves me. That's what they do. This is me doing it because they did one for Jess Phillips where she's like, I'm a tough northern bird and I got to shoot milk at my tits. Do you remember that one?
No, I've never watched this show.
You want to suck some fucking milk from my big Labour tits?
Anyway, here we go. Here's Keir Starmer and it's going to be like the usual shit of like, maybe it'll be a bit more critical now, but back then they would be like, look, it's embodied in the famous tweet, which has since been deleted by a guy called Otto English, where once Labour won the last election, he tweeted out, it's nice, isn't it? The quiet. This idea of like, I like that Starmer is boring. It's like, he's actually not boring because he's bloodthirsty for the death of Arabs. He's a spineless coward. Whatever. He's all these awful things, but he's not like, he's just saying these kind of generally agreeable things. So here we go.
This summer, a story of periodic bravery, followed by crushing weakness, starring Steer Calmer.
Slap the brakes on! I'm doing another U-turn!
In a tale of rivalry.
Jesus Christ, Keir! How am I supposed to overtake you if you keep changing direction?
Mavericks.
Maybe I won't bomb those guys. Maybe I will bomb those guys.
And regret.
Donald, I'm sorry. I don't think you're a pedo. I'm sure you just went to Epstein Island for the weather. It's very nice at this time of year. I've heard. Fucking Tesla battery life.
Formula Do One.
Alright, that's enough of that. Is there any other good one? Will I skip ahead? See if there's any other good one?
No more Trump ones.
No more Trump. Oh my god. Did you see he's fucking Keir Starmer up the arse? Can you see that?
No, to play it?
I'll just skip to it. That's got to be the episode art, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
There's Elon
Who's
Musk.
that?
It's Elon Musk.
Go back. Oh.
I did like that they gave him a full-on South African accent. That was quite funny. Oh, Zelensky. I know it's got Trump. Can we do Zelensky? See what their Zelensky is like.
Okay.
New phone, who dis?
President Trump.
It's me, your ally, Zelensky.
Ally who?
Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, oh yeah. Don't you forget
All right,
about
stop. I can't take it.
Yeah.
That's so shit. I just... Do you think they were laughing in the room as they made it?
Oh yeah.
They were like, this is too funny. We need another bit about Trump being gay. We only have 5.
Because the one who wrote it is Matt Ford. Let me just show you what other stuff he laughs at.
Let's have the TRIPS waiver that is recommended by the WHO and not just side with Big Pharma, but actually share knowledge and technology and recipes and capacity to vaccinate the world.
Matt, you're looking sceptical?
I just think this big pharma thing
Big
is...
pharmaceutical companies, yeah. Not
just kind of an immature thing to be saying. Like, without pharmaceutical companies, we wouldn't have these vaccines. And I think AstraZeneca and others deserve huge credit for putting their brightest minds at the service of the planet. And this kind of weird, hard left view that all private enterprise is negative or sinister is odd. And it certainly doesn't chime with the public, who are grateful that AstraZeneca have done. Without AstraZeneca, I wouldn't have had 2 jabs. I wouldn't have the protection I've got. Well, thank God for pharmaceutical companies.
Well, Shami, your weird hard left view, is it true that you wouldn't have had the development of these vaccines?
My weird hard left view is apparently being supported by President Biden, the Pope, Gordon Brown, Mary Robertson,
Jesus, the Easter Bunny.
I'm not going to...
I have a show coming up, everyone.
Oh yeah. Get on with it. Yeah.
On the 16th of July. I can tell the podcasters, but I'm not telling anyone else. It's on my birthday. My 35th birthday.
35? Fucking hell.
I know.
Half-in.
So...
1 foot in the grave.
Stop. I know. But sure, you gotta die sometime. What's wrong with tonight?
Yeah.
But it's on in the Pearse Centre. It's called One Off, partly because it's a one-off show. 16th of July. What else do people need? Tickets are €10 or €7 if you're unwaged. And yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
Speaking of spitting image, I saw the new Rex Ryan jaunt about the monk.
Oh yeah.
He's Jerry Ryan's son.
Zainab was mentioning that today. Rex Ryan.
He was in school with me.
And how was it?
Very strange.
This is the theatre corner.
He made a very strange decision to represent the monk as being completely haunted by all his past transgressions. Which I've never got that sense from the monk.
No.
That he
I think he's entirely untroubled by anything he's ever done.
Yeah. So he's he's telling you a story and then he's like, I can't take it anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. But like you say, I think he was very proud of all the
I think
work
he's entirely indifferent. I think something is I don't know this guy's politics, but the liberal fascination in the first Trump era to write these articles imagining what is Trump like behind closed doors, and there's always this you remember they made the Brendan Gleeson show and even the Apprentice movie to an extent, but I don't think it did really humanize him. It just is kind of where does a figure like this come from? But there's always this idea that no, there is some human being there who is responding to things that I understand as a fellow human being, and then you're no, you have to get that out of your head. He's not
yeah,
he's not
I think that was what's the point of the Apprentice film was that it was there's no point in trying to imagine this guy's head because he's spent his life eradicating all internal thought.
That's it. The origin story, but I'm not saying that the monk is evil in that way. People can disagree, but the idea of the monk to me is it kind of reminds me of the way that they depicted Frank Sheeran in The Irishman. Do you remember? Yes, I can do that for you. Do you know? And it's kind of it's just somebody who doesn't have a kind of who can do things that other people can't because they might be constrained by certain morals, And
I think the monk is really just Sean Quinn.
Yeah.
It's just he's a guy who knew what he was good at, half of which was bullshitting.
Yeah.
And then he just did audacious things.
Yeah.
A weirdly ambitious in his own fucked up way sort of guy.
Me, I wake up, I think oh shit, I need some money. And then so I was well, that guy has some money, I'm just going to go over and take it. Which wouldn't be it wouldn't occur to me. Do you know what I mean? And then if I did something like that, then I would spend the rest of my life agonizing about it. I can't believe. One time I was in a group job interview in San Francisco for an Urban Outfitters, okay? And there was a fella sitting across.
What a life.
I know. As was about
what
12 people.
What an odd place to find you as well.
There was 12 people in the room, and then this guy goes, I've worked on film sets, okay? And I said, oh, I love working on film sets because you get paid a lot of money and you don't actually do anything. And he was you do a lot. He was looking daggers at me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about it. I was just treating it like a conversation, And then afterwards I realized that I'd completely he was I'm pitching myself for this job and you said I haven't fucking done anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time, and I think about that guy and how I want to go back and I want to go, I am doesn't make it right, but I'm so sorry that I did that to you.
I know.
The monk is not sitting at home going like, oh, that poor guy that I butted with a shotgun and then took a bunch of money from behind the counter, or like from the.
Yeah.
I don't know what is. I've never done any research on him. I'm just saying that like I don't think he's haunted at all by anything that he's done.
No, definitely not. I just love the monk. I'm fascinated by him.
Yeah.
I think it's also because he's quite funny.
Yeah.
And I've talked enough about him, but like, there's that famous line where he's been interviewed by someone, it's like a Sunday Business Post journalist or something. And the guy's like, you did this. And then he's like, why do people believe that? Why do people believe I did it? Because of the media, and and he goes, I read it so much, I nearly believe I did it myself.
Yeah.
It's like, that is just such a funny line.
Yeah.
Particularly for, Ireland in the early 2000s. I don't know. He was funny man. Wouldn't want to run into him or have my home address.
Yeah. We've mentioned that on the podcast before. Is it worth mentioning? Zaina bought James a calendar for Jerry the monk hutch and off some fella on Instagram, and then it never arrived, so she was just like, what the fuck is it just given out to this guy? And then this is Zainab's leaning in to correct the record.
So he was personally recommended by Jerry Hodge that you should get in touch with this guy if you want any of the leftover merch. And this was post-election, like in January. So I thought it's the perfect time to buy a calendar because we're not too deep in the year. Okay. And I waited, I think, a month or so before I had to get in touch with the guy because I thought, Christmas deliveries, etc. And so I asked him, hey, so did you send out the thing? And he's like, yeah, I did. It's like, so he double checked the address that I gave him. And he's like, yeah, no, I sent it. So, okay, cool. I guess I'll just wait for a week or so. So I, messaged him again because I was checking in with James if he received anything. And so I was like, okay, so do you have a tracking number for this parcel or, anything? He's like, well, I sent it using normal post. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So what do I do now? I don't know. And that was the end of that.
Didn't you give out to him?
Well, that was like, I didn't know because I was texting you at the same time. And we looked up the man and turns out he's one of his friends / accomplice.
So now you got it. We got there in the end. But one of the collaborators, you type in his name and you look him up, and then it's like he appeared in court next to Jerry Hutch, and they're like leaving, and it's like, like all this stuff where it's like Paul Reynolds, like
his bodyguard or something. Yeah,
something like an enforcer for the monk, and it's like great that he has James's address and
address, like,
and also that Zainab pissed him off. Right?
The other thing I love about the monk.
Yeah, no, because I still follow him on Instagram and he went on holidays to Thailand a couple of weeks ago, and now they've all been riding elephants and having a great time in their life before preparing the son for a fight. Because they're, of course, into boxing and shit. That's it.
Oh, look, she's like, that's on my money. That's my money sending them to Thailand.
Yeah, go to that elephant.
Yeah.
I also love the thing. Do you remember when he was coming out of prison?
Yeah.
After the trial, and he's like walking through the press, and then there's just this like he's just a homeless guy with a knife.
Yeah.
And he's just like, stay away, everybody, stay away, leave him alone. It's like, the monk doesn't know that, man. And he has a knife somehow.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's right next to him. And I love that. I find Anyway, but yeah, wasn't a very good play. Hate to say it. The Monk by Rex Ryan, but fair play to him for giving it a shot.
So another thing, two things I wanted to talk about. Definitely, I wanted to talk about Bob Vylan a bit, if that hasn't been done to death.
Yeah, unconditional support for.
Yeah.
So annoying to me the way there's so many people who are like, "Oh, I support, Palestinians, but I don't support Hamas." You shouldn't be out there saying up Hamas.
Yeah.
Just for the minute, support Hamas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for the minute. Like,
Yeah.
you can reevaluate later, whatever. But like, for the minute.
Here's what.
Get behind them.
And it's easy to do because you're doing it with Syria. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll look at Syria and they'll go like, "Oh, I know they're not perfect, but they're better than Assad." I was like, okay, cool. Then what about Hamas? No, Hamas, I mean, they did something really bad, actually, which was kill a load of people. And you're like, uh-huh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, actually, I'll tell you somebody who did something worse, which is a bunch of people who raped prisoners to death and then went out in the streets to protest their right to rape prisoners to death, and are now also, one of them is now appearing on Israeli TV as a celebrity, like in panel shows and all this shit. Hitler, yeah. Jewish Hitler.
Jewish Hitler. i.e. every member of the IDF.
Every member of the IDF. And then they go, some of the reaction to it is like, yeah, but they have conscription over there. So one, you can choose to go to jail instead of killing Palestinians.
I think you can also just choose to like sweep the street or something.
Well, even still, I wouldn't be a member of the IDF, like at all.
No, I don't think you have to join I think you just have to do. I think there are ways
community service. Right.
I think so. Could be wrong, but.
And then the second thing is like,
go to jail, like.
But the other thing about it, like, is that not like a sick society that you're now calling your ally, that they have forced military service? Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, why is that not worthy of comment? Do you know? And it's also like, it's also like the human shields argument as well, isn't it? Like, they're all just little kids who are joining the IDF. That's fucked up. What? And so they're above criticism because a fucking little kid, like 17-year-old, is going to catch strays, Like,
yeah. If you join the IDF, you have a duty to shoot every other IDF in the head.
Yeah.
Like, that you see.
Yeah.
And then yourself.
Yeah. And that's the other thing when they go to the death to the IDF is like, no, he just meant death to the system. And I was like, no, I think death to individual IDF soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
100% like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, fair play to them, the band, because like, I think, they were put on because Kneecap were like, it was like, oh, we can't show Kneecap, we're going to show this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then they come out and they show something even more inflammatory than anything Kneecap I've ever said.
I've ever said.
Like, it's just so funny.
And you saw like they were like, okay, then they got dropped by their agency, and now Kneecap are being investigated by the Somerset police. And I was like, what? The Kneecap being like, what the fuck? Like, we weren't even on TV. Like, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. We're back to like old school like Irish racism of like, well, yeah, but you wore a balaclava, which I just fucking do not like at all.
Yeah.
I mean, and the whole thing is so like anti-Semitic. Where it's like they were calling for the death of all Jews, and it's like, no, they weren't. They're calling for the death of IDF soldiers, And it's like, AKA all Jews. And I was like, fuck, man, that's so harsh. That's really like,
well, it was good to see that the crowd were chanting along.
Yeah.
I went back and I was reading in work. I spent the whole day reading this. It was remember when Norman Finkelstein did the the Lex Friedman debate. Remember? Did you ever see that?
I didn't see it. I don't really.
What did you know of it? It was like him.
I don't really know Lex Friedman. I kind of know his name and I hear him about, and he's a podcaster, and that's it, really.
It was like a 4-way debate. Let me get up the names of the people. I'm not going to talk about it.
Was one of them Destiny?
Yeah, it's that one.
I'd heard about that. Yeah. And again, Destiny is something that means absolutely nothing to me. People are like, "Oh my god, he argued with Destiny." I was like, "Who cares? Who fucking like some streamer who's a racist?" I think isn't this the shorthand of it?
Yeah, I think it's just. I'll show you why. Part of why it was funny, because. Yeah, he is just a streamer. Like he. Yeah.
What are the Rizzlers' thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I think Destiny would be more similar to Jordan Peterson because, like, halfway through the debate, it's like, sorry, let me get up the names because they're all like experts. You know, on the. Oh yeah, it was Normal Finkelstein, Mu and Rabini. They're like on the Palestinian, you know, anti-Zionist side, and then Benny Morris, who's this like abhorrent, like Zionist academic, and then Destiny, and it was all the other three hate Destiny being there. And they all, even Benny Morris, who should like him because he's a Zionist.
Yeah.
They refuse to learn his name. They're constantly addressing him by a different name, you know?
Yeah.
And the debate's like 5 hours long. So that goes on for 5 hours.
That's so punishing. I can't believe you watched that.
But then there is a good bit where, like, I love how Normal Finkelstein is just so derogatory to people.
Yeah.
And when he's like talking to Benny Morris, he's just like, you know, I've read your work and it's awful. You know? Completely pointless. Like, I don't know why I do this to myself. I've read all your books 3 times. It's pointless.
What was that?
You know, like,
do you remember the one where there was like an Israeli guy on the telly and then Norma and just kind of saying like, not even the Arab states want them. Not even the Arab states want them. And then Finkelstein is making this argument about like, well, that's what Hitler said and all this. And then as he's talking, you know, your man's like smiling and he goes, and you can wipe that stupid fucking smirk off your face. Like, you know, you're smiling. And I was like, thank God somebody said it. It's just, that's what drives me mad is the Israeli smile, the Zionist smile. You know?
Yeah, but then when he gets to, there's a bit like ages in where Destiny is like, and if you look at chapter 4 of this book, and he's like, you are an ignoramus. You don't know what you're talking about. And Destiny keeps going like, but in chapter 4, and he goes, but you haven't read chapter 3, and I know you haven't read chapter 5.
Yeah.
So like, why are you here? Just like,
I'm trying to find the tweet that Finkelstein put out for Alan
it's
Dershowitz.
Just so refreshing to see like he's no decorum in a very good way.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
just like you like you're either an imbecile or a monster, you know?
Yeah.
And like I don't see what the point of you even being here is. As opposed to like so many debates where it's like, I respect your point of view.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like, sir, you know, I may not agree with you on every issue, but, and it's like, you know, but he just, he's like, no, actually, like, you're beneath me. You're beneath, like, I don't you. Why am I engaging with you? Who are you?
Yeah.
But, you know, probably sort of should have said that before doing the debate, you know. I don't know whether.
Well, I think he really wanted to do a face-to-face with Benny Morris because he hates him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the one where he was saying that, like, there was something that Alan Dershowitz said where, like, you know, Dershowitz has been constantly going, like, if there's any evidence of me on the Epstein Island, I say, prove it. I say, put it out there, prove it. And then Finkelstein said something like, he was making fun of that tweet by saying, like, if there's any video footage of my wife being railed by the LA Lakers, then please send it to me. I wish I could find it, but that like genuinely happened.
The tweet was actually as follows. At Norman Finkelstein. I challenge Netflix to explain why they didn't play the tape recording that confirms my wife and daughter were gangbanged by Jeffrey Epstein and the LA Rams right in front of me while I was wearing my underwear.
Finkelstein tweeted that, like an academic who's like written a book with Chomsky. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's astonishing to me that he is like that, you know? And then on TrueAnon, he appeared on TrueAnon and they were like, how would you like to be like introduced? And he's like, Norman Finkelstein, guest of the Adam Friedland show. He's so, like, he's very aware and he's quite funny. And he can be a little, like, sometimes he can be like, oh, these identity politics. And you're like, all right, fucking pipe down about that, you know. I know where you're coming from and you're an old man, but, like, you know, just, you know, I just like his point of view, and I like how kind of cantankerous and unapologetic he is, you know?
Yeah.
But the Dershowitz, the famous thing with him is that he appeared on Democracy Now! With Alan Dershowitz, and then he started like ripping chunks out of his book and saying that Dershowitz like plagiarized the whole thing. Apparently, if you were to interrogate that too much, then he kind of comes off as a bit crazy. It's like you like quoted this guy liberally that this other person had quoted, and the quotes are identical, and I think that you ripped off this book, okay? And it's plagiarism, and you're a pathetic individual, you know? And so you could be like, well, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Because like I heard the argument made by people that like, because it'll appear online every now and again where it's like he rightfully calls out Alan Dershowitz for being a fucking plagiarist, okay? But I've heard other people then say like, well, being a plagiarist is the least of the problems with Alan Dershowitz, and it seems like we're getting lost in the weeds here, do you know?
Yeah, and I think he is such like a visceral disdain for these people. That like sometimes I think he just sees red and he's just probably makes him a bit less effective.
Well, I think it's he has disdain for like the lack of intellectual rigor. Like he kind of like I don't think Dershowitz like one for one plagiarized his book. He just used a few quotes that somebody else did in their book, and that's why he's supposed to be. But like when he challenges Dershowitz on it, Dershowitz doesn't have like responses to what he's saying. So it means he hasn't interrogated his research enough, and that's what drives Finkelstein insane. You know what I mean? Like,
I think as well he hates them because they're Zionists. You know what I mean?
That too. Yeah.
Like he really, it's in no way, like it is academic, but it's no way theoretical for him. Like he is emotionally involved. He also made a really interesting point, and weirdly it's a similar point my old housemate used to make. It is, he is like, he says that you shouldn't, that the first generation of Zionists, they're the only ones who are like true believers.
Yeah.
You know? And then after that, it's like everyone is sort of just so embedded in the ideology that they can't, it's not to take accountability away from them, like they're still evil, but it's like they're just so within it that they can't see the edges of it anymore. You know? He's cool. We need an Irish.
Well, the other one I was going to say about Finkelstein is that so like whatever about that exchange with him and Dershowitz, but what ended up happening is Dershowitz then used his position on a university board to get Finkelstein denied tenure, okay? And then after that, he also didn't stop there. He started to suggest that Finkelstein's mother was a capo. She was a collaborator with the Nazis. Jeez. And there's an amazing clip where Finkelstein just bumps into Dershowitz in a restaurant and is basically confronting him, going like, do you know how much is taken out of me to not jump across the table right now and throttle you? You said that my mother collaborated with the Nazis, you know? And obviously they've come into like they'll be invited on like Piers Morgan opposite each other, and somehow he's still able to sit across Dershowitz and not be like just tear him apart for all the correct reasons. He's not going like he's not sitting there seething, being like, you called my mother a Nazi collaborator, a woman who survived the fucking camps. The people that you say that never again, and that's why we need Israel, okay? My mother went through the camps and you smeared her name because I said you fucking plagiarized a book, you psychopath. You know, like it's... But anyway, I really wanted to bring up with Dershowitz because... Did you see that?
That's the end of the free bit. Go to patreon.com/CelticLigers to get the rest, where Newstalk interviews Alan Dershowitz. Micheál Martin and Simon Harris play the Do You Condemn Hamas card even now. Finally, although it takes a long time to get there, former celebrity financial advisor, current right-wing crank Eddie Hobbs sits down with bloated flour sack Steve Bannon. Better believe we watched that.